So you see nothing on the ground, and all of a sudden you have a missile popping up from Iran. Iran is publishing this for the first time. And as a matter of fact, we saw that from the Palestinian resistance before, by the way. And Iran now is showing both Israel and the United States that not only are these missiles hidden in mountains and under the ground, we don't have launchers for them over the ground, so you don't see anything as in when we launch. All of this is deliberate. All of this is calculated. Iran and Israel are going to be seeing another war between them. These countries, it didn't end with the initial escalation and with the previous escalations between them. They're both preparing. Iran is very keen on showing them their capabilities with these missiles that they're launching now. And it's only a matter of time up until they have another war again. Israel is not really talking that much about Iran now, but we need to understand something. They put themselves in heaps of trouble with this recent attack that they had in Qatar. That wasn't only unsuccessful, that was a strategic disaster. By the way, more and more in Israeli circles and in Israeli media are talking about how much of a failure that attack was, because it hasn't achieved anything. It made things worse for Israel's image. It's forcing Arab countries to reconsider their security arrangements. It's forcing them to even go ahead and think about an actual response against Israel, things that Israel was protected from to a very large extent. By the way, they were even talking about expanding the falsely labeled Abraham Accords with other countries. What accords are you going to have now by attacking these Arab states? Who's going to have peace with you? The first country that went to show solidarity with Qatar and condemned Israel and was humiliating their ambassador is the same UAE that had this treaty with them and the Abraham Accords. Israel is proving to all of the Arab states, by the way, that having a deal with us doesn't mean you have any sort of security. Having a deal with us doesn't mean that you're protected. As a matter of fact, it's like befriending a venomous, lethal snake. That's how it is. Just a matter of time up until that snake is going to bite you. That's in relation to Iran, and of course the escalations that are happening between Iran and the Israeli side, and also Israel and Qatar. And we're going to go back to Israel and Qatar and the calls coming from Egypt again, and the very significant move that was taken by the Egyptian authorities recently. But before that, Yemen Ansarullah, they said that they targeted occupied Jaffa with a hypersonic ballistic missile called Palestine 2 with a multi-warhead missile. They said they targeted a strategic location in Tel Aviv, but we heard from social media, multiple accounts verifying and confirming that they actually target the HQ of the Mossad in a nearby area. Usually, Ansarullah, when they target strategic or intelligence locations within Israel, within the genocide state, they don't really declare them, nor do they name them. But we do hear verifications coming from the ground. For example, in multiple cases, both when the Iraqi armed groups and Yemen used to conduct attacks against certain specific bases or secret bases, they didn't say what they're going to target, knowing very well where they're going to land. And now they're carrying out more and more operations against Israel with 37 strikes just in less than 2 weeks. Missiles, drones, UAVs, hypersonic missiles, you name it. It's not stopping from Ansarullah, and they're continuing this escalation against the genocide state, again with Israel having no answer whatsoever to stop these attacks coming from Ansarullah. Which leads us to the next point that I wanted to talk to you about. People are asking, how did Hamas say that they weren't really targeted? How did they say that they survived this attack from the Israeli side? They released more information now to clarify exactly what happened and why they survived this attack. We had multiple, rumors circulating. Well, Turkey told them, Egypt told them, Qatari intel told them last minute, although, the official narrative wasn't really that clear. And of course, with any of these attacks, a lot of things will remain hidden. But the Palestinian resistance came up with a statement, and they said that it was actually the security arrangements and procedures and how valid and correct they are that were taken by both Hamas and the Qatari security were the main reasons for the failure in the assassination attempt. We didn't receive any informational assistance, according to them, by any external party in relation to the attack. The enemy was unable to cause any human or technical breach in the Hamas and Qatari security protection team. And again, that this failed because Israel wasn't able to hack the system that both Hamas and the Qatari secret service or security services had in place to counter this attack coming from Israel. And again, in Israel, on its mainstream media, politicians, people are talking about how much of a huge failure this attack was. This was by an Israeli professor in the Israeli Channel 12 news website, saying the failure of the attack on Qatar is deeper than it seems. The daring assassination attempt Doha may turn out to be a strategic mistake whose cost is higher than its benefits. Even if operation did not completely fail operationally, it caused enormous political damage. It damaged trust with Qatar and the Arab world, complicated relations with the US, strengthened our enemies, and did not advance the release of the hostages. In the end, Israel remained more isolated. These statements are not just coming from this man, they're circulating and being plastered all across Israeli media, Israeli social media. It's coming from Israeli politicians. It's coming from also Israeli senior figures in the military and in the intelligence establishment inside of the genocide state.